Hello friends, this is Vishwanath Daska. I'm back with another video related to journal. Sorry for the disturbance. Yeah, I know it's a lot. I have taken a long time to come back, but due to some personal reasons, I could not record some videos. Yeah, but I'll be back again, and this time, I'm back with a video related to journal again. I think I have not completed these topics right related to journal. So I have taken an illustration number 8, which is from ICAI study material. ICAI study material. I think you can check from BOS portal from ICAI website. Okay. Related from that ICAI material, I have taken a question. While going through the material, I got to know that there is a question related to GST. Okay, there is a problem related to GST where GST is divided into CGST, SGST, and IGST as well. And of course, there is one more interested GST and interested GST. This is related to state. Okay, this is related to central. Central means the whole government will come under, the whole India will come under this GST. SGST is related to state like Telangana, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, etc. Okay. IGST is Integrated Goods and Service Tax. Okay. Integrated Goods and Service Tax. Not intra is Integrated Goods and Services Tax. Okay. But what is GST, and related to GST you will also learn further. In order to tell you about GST in a brief manner, GST is indirect tax. Indirect tax which is not levied directly, not directly levied. It is not directly levied on income of an individual or a business or a Hindu undivided family. Okay, artificial judicial persons, anyone. Okay, these are not directly levied on income. And also I think while purchasing any food items or any sort of items daily in our daily lives, you might have observed GST. GST is what? Goods and services tax. Goods and services tax. And from the name itself, I think you can know it is applied on goods and as well as services. So while we are purchasing the goods, the margin MRP price, what we are paying, it is already included with GST. That means we are already paying the amount along with GST. And of course, related to GST, we'll learn a lot about in the future. Okay, I'm not going to discuss about it in depth now. So now let us go for this problem. Like, how do we write journal entries for goods and services tax? And while writing the journal entries, I'll also explain you how to calculate it. And of course, by reading the question itself, you will be understanding what to do and what not to do also. Okay, let us go. Let us see for the first, let us see the question. Illustration number 8. Journalize the following transactions in the books of Mr. Rohit. Okay, let me take another ink. Yeah. In the books of Mr. Rohit, we are required to prepare journal entries. Right? No problem. Let us start in the books of, I'm writing the heading in the books of Mr. Rohit. Okay. And of course, as there are no dates mentioned here, yeah, there are no dates mentioned here. I'm not going to maintain a date column. In the place of date, I'm going to write serial number for the transaction what we are going to write. Serial number, particulars, ledger folio number, and already explained, like in journal we are going to write ledger folio number, and in ledger we are going to maintain journal folio number. Okay, LF number, debit rupees, and credit rupees. Okay, and of course you can prepare the whole table like this, like preparing a long table, or else you can write the entries directly with, for your convenience. We can for convenience we are not going to use this table. Okay, this is the format. Let me show the format once again. This is the format of journal. Instead of a serial number, usually you will be having date, particulars, ledger folio number, debit rupees, and credit rupees. This rupees here is in India currency. In India we use rupees, right? So that is the currency what we are having. And of course in other countries like America, you can use dollars, US dollars, right? So for our easy convenience, I am going to use this rupees value. So let me erase this so that we can go for the entries directly. But this heading must be there in the books of Mr. Rohit. While writing, we are going to see. Okay, let us go for the question. In the books of Mr. Rohit. So in the books of Mr. Rohit, what we are going to see, we are going to see the journal entries. Let us see the first transaction. Purchased goods from Sahil for rupees 50,000 plus GST and like CGST and SGST are the 9% each. See, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the disturbance. I don't know what happened to me. So he told us that he has Mr. Rohit has purchased goods. He's purchasing the goods from Sahil. Okay, he is purchasing the goods from Sahil, but he did not mention that he has paid the amount, right? As he has not paid the amount, then we have to assume that it is a credit transaction. And I think you might have observed the difference between cash transaction and as well as credit transaction while doing the problems related to journal, right? So what happened here? But as he is purchasing the goods from Sahil, then we have to assume that Mr. Rohit is a wholesaler or he is a retailer. So he has to pay SGST and CGST separately to the person wholesaler. That means to the previous person. He will be deducting the GST amount. So as he has mentioned plus, that means we are required to add this GST value while along with the amount of 50,000 rupees. Then what would be 9% of 50,000? Simply take the calculators and do 9%. That would be what? Rupees 4,500. Okay. But how do we record this journal entry? That is the main question, right? Let us see how do we maintain this, how do we write in the journal entries. As we are purchasing the goods, what we are going to write, let us make down the entry as number 1. As this is the purchase of goods, we are going to write purchases account debit. Okay, purchases account debit. For what amount? He has purchasing the amount, he has purchased the goods for 50,000, right? He has purchased the amount for 50,000, and we are also required to maintain this GST and sorry, like both GST, CGST and SGST values as well as, right? Along with this transaction, we are also required to maintain the entry. We are also required to write the entry because, see, in the books of Mr. Rohit, Rohit is all actually paying the amount for the goods he purchased, and also he is making amount. He is also paying amount which is related to GST as well, right? So he has to write the entry related to GST as well. Then what would be the entry? Simple input. First one is for CGST. In brackets, we are required to show the calculation, which would be 50,000 into 9% account debit. This is 4,500. Same again, input SGST. We are required to show the calculation again, 50,000 into 9% account data or debit, 4,500. And as Mr. Rohit is purchasing the goods from Mr. Sahil and he did not pay the amount, so it is a credit transaction. So for the credit transaction, we involve the person's name from whom we are purchasing or we are selling the amount, right? From whom he has purchased, from Sahil. So we are going to write to Sahil account. How much? 59,000. So narration, what would be narration? Being goods purchased from Sahil and CGST SGST paid. We can write narration anything what you like. So this is the first entry. I think you have understood what we are going to why. You have to understand why we have debited this both GST amounts. Simple. Debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. Nominal account concept, nominal account rule is there, right? What is this? Debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. These are the concept. This is the nominal account rule. As Mr. Rohit is purchasing here, then GST is also to be paid by him. That is also that he has to incur GST amount as well as, right. So it is an expense for him. Okay, it is an expense for him, so he will be debiting the amount, both GST and SGST amount. Debit all expenses and losses. That is the rule, and credit all incomes and gains. And I think we might see some income transaction related to GST as well. Let us see. Okay, we might. I'm not sure. Okay, let us. So let us go for the second transaction. The first transaction has been completed. Now let us go for second transaction. Okay. This is an interesting transaction. I'm highlighting it. Purchased goods from Sam. Okay, for rupees 40,000. Okay, he has purchased the goods for rupees 40,000 at a trade discount of 10% plus CGST and SGST 9% each. Okay, he is also paying SGST and CGST. What happened? 20,000 was immediately paid immediately, and balance payable after 3 months. But my question is, why did he mention trade discount? Because he might have purchased a lots, like he has purchased the goods in a lot, in more than 10 quantities or 20 quantities. So if we purchase more than the quantity what we require, then the person who is selling, he will give us some discount. But the discount is not shown in the books of accounts. The discount is not shown in the books of account. If that discount is shown, then it will be recorded as cash discount, right? As this is a trade discount, we are not going to write a separate entry related to trade discount. We are not going to mention that in the books of accounts. But we might show it as a narration. We might show it as a narration. So what is the value? 40,000 is the amount of goods what he has purchased, from which 10% is the trade discount. You can see the trade discount of 10%. Okay, that means the value which he is purchasing is of 90%. That means he is only paying for 90% of the value. He is only paying 90% value for 100%. What would be the 90% of 40,000? That would be 36,000 rupees. So the purchases what he is making now, the value for the goods what he is paying is 36,000. Let us write the same. What would be the entry? Purchases account debit. But as this is a transaction which is having calculation, I'm going to show into 90%. 40,000 into 90%. Account already we have written, right? Debit 36,000 rupees. 36,000. As this is a trade discount transaction, we are not going to show 40,000 totally. And also the GST what we are incurring, this 9% GST on both CGST and SGST, this is also calculated on the amount what he is paying, not on the original amount. Okay, so the purchases account debit and input. Okay, let me use another, only the white ink that would be visible, I think so. Okay, purchases account debit, I'm going to write the same entry, input CGST account, on which on 36,000 into 9% debit. The same value is there for SGST as well. Okay, input SGST account, same 36,000 into 9% debit to. Let me calculate this amount later, and we have to see the transaction once again. 20,000 was paid immediately. He is mentioning that 20,000 was immediately paying. So it is a mixture of both cash transaction as well as credit transaction. Simply what we are going to do, for the purpose of amount what we has paid in cash, we are going to maintain it as a bank account transaction or cash transaction. For cash transactions usually involving for more than 10,000 rupees, usually we write to bank account. How much? 20,000 is there. So let us write it here. So he is paying 20,000 in cash. But and also the remaining amount what he has to pay to Sam, right? As it is a credit transaction, we are going to incur, we are going to write the name Sam as well. So we are required to calculate the GST amount, 36,000 into 9%. Let me calculate it. This is 3,240. Both is the, for both it is the same. So plus 36,000 plus 3,240, that would be amounting to 42,480. So the total amount is 42,480, out of which we are already paying 20,000 in cash. So the remaining amount what is payable to Sam is 22,480. So this is the transaction what we are required to write. This is the journal entry. So being goods purchased from Sam at trade discount and partly cash paid. We are going to write same thing. We can write anything. We can write anything. So this would be the narration. I think you have understood how we are going to write the journal entry for this one. So as we have to see the question as well, I'm going to erase these transactions now. Or else let us go down. Let us take the same image towards down. We are going to mention here the third and fourth transaction. Let us write down here it's the third and fourth one. Let me decrease the length of the image. Yeah, I think it is visible. Okay, we are done with first transaction, second transaction. I think you have understood both the transaction what we are going to see. This is a very important transaction. The sixth one is also very important transaction. Okay, and of course, the sixth transaction is also same as second one. Let us see at the time of sixth transaction. Very simple only, but let us see. Let us see the third one. Okay, third transaction is goods costing rupees 20,000. Okay, there are some goods which are costing rupees 20,000 withdrawn. This is what the highlight is. This is the important part for personal use, not only for office use, not for office use. For personal use, he is withdrawing the goods. Okay, such goods were purchased by paying GST and SGST at the rate 9% each. What happened? Mr. Rohit is there. I think he wants some goods which is to be used for him for his personal purposes. For his personal purposes, he wants to use some goods. So what happened? He has withdrawn 20,000. And I have told you, I think there is a transaction which was also involving income related to GST. I think this is the transaction. I think spoiler alert, right? Let us. Hmm. I'm sorry for the spoiler, but I can't. Thank you. Let us see the question. What happened? Goods costing rupees 20,000 were withdrawn for personal use. What is the entry for withdrawing of goods from personal use? Drawings to purchases. Okay, drawings account data to purchases account. This is the entry, right? Simply what happens? GST is also paid. See, Rohit is there. Rohit is withdrawing the goods for personal use. He's also paying GST 9% each for CGST and SGST. He's also paying, but for whom he is paying, to whom he is paying, he is paying to business. That means the GST is income for business now. Simply to input GST, input CGST account, to input SGST account. This is the transaction. Very simple, right? There is nothing much, but here drawings is important. Whenever he is making any drawings, the expenditure which he is incurring on the drawing is an income for the business, because he is withdrawing from the business. The interest on the amount what he is paying on that is GST, that is an income for the business, right? So let us write the transaction. Simply what? Drawings account debit. How much drawings he is taking? 20,000. But as he is also paying GST, this is not the amount. This is not the correct amount. He might have taken 20,000 worth goods, but on this 20,000 he is paying CGST as well as SGST at the rate 9%, right? Right? What would be the 9% of 20,000, which is 1,800, right? 1,800. Same, this is also 1,800 rupees. So this total amount is also to be included here, right? So what would be the amount? Not 20,000, 20,000 plus 2 into 1,800. This is 3,600. Then this would be 23,600 rupees. Simply what? To purchases account. This purchases account, like the drawings what he has taken, will be same 20,000 rupees only. But to input CGST account, how much? 20,000 into 9%, which is 1,800 to input SGST account. 20,000 into 9%, 1,800, being goods withdrawn for personal use and GST paid. So this is third entry. Let us go for the fourth entry. Paid rent to Gagandeep for 30,000 plus GST and SGST 6% each. This is an entry related to rent. So rent is expenditure. Let us write at the account rent account debit. Enta. Sorry, how much? 30,000. Input GST. Input what? CGST account. On 30,000, he has to incur 6% and also input SGST account 30,000 into 6% debit to he's paying rent to Gagandeep. So to Gagandeep account. Is it? Is it? Please tell me. Is it same? No. He has paid rent to Gagandeep. You should be cautious here. You should write the entry cautiously. To what? To bank account. That would be the simple transaction because he's paying rent. He's paying rent to Gagandeep, whoever it might be. Gagandeep or Deep Gagan, whoever it might be. But he's paying rent, right? As he's paying rent, that means it is already paid in cash or through check. That might be nowadays UPI. Okay. Nowadays UPI it will be there. How much? The total of this month is 30,000 into 6%, which would be 1,800. The same value will be here. So that is 33,600 again. Being rent paid to Gagandeep and GST paid along with it. This would be the narration. That would be the simple, right? So we have also completed both the third and fourth transaction. Okay. Now in the next what we are going to see, we are going to see the remaining three transactions. Okay. Simple transactions only, but there is nothing much involved. Okay. Now what happens? Let us see this 1, 2, 3, 4 completed, right? Let us go for fifth one. Goods costing 5,000 before trade discount of 10%. Returned to Sam. Such goods were purchased by paying SGST and CGST 9% each. Let us go back to the second transaction. See, he has purchased some goods from Sam for rupees 40,000, right? Out of this 40,000 worth goods, he has utilized 35,000 goods and now he is returning 5,000 goods. While purchasing the goods, what happens? He has paid GST for 40,000, right? Like for every 1,000 or every 1 rupee, he is also paying 9% GST, right? Like both SGST and CGST. Then while returning, he has to return the amount of the GST as well, right? Then what happens? This GST now, what it is returning, it is also like income now. Simple, right? So goods costing rupees 55,000 before trade discount basis. Okay. Before trade discount of 10%, Then what would be the it is after 10% discount? 4,500, right? Because 5,000 into 90% we are going to calculate, which is 4,500. So what happens here? Out of this 5,000, out of this 5,000, he's already getting 10% trade discount, right? 10% trade discount, right? Then on this, after this 10% only, he has to pay the amount. Simply, that is the trick. So he has to pay amount of 4,500. But Nana, not only on this 4,500, he has to get 9% GST, like both CGST and SGST, right? What would be the amount? 4,500 per 9%. We have to calculate what would be the value. 405 rupees. Simply, right? So, as while purchasing, he has paid both CGST and SGST. Then, while he is returning the goods to Sam, then that would be the GST will be written, right? That is credited GST. GST will be credited. That will be like income now. I think same as that of the like withdrawn for personal use. It is an income. So similarly, let us go for the question. Let us go for the transaction. What would be the entry? I think it will be completing. We are going to completing within the next 5 to 7 minutes. The question. I'm taking this much time to complete one question because I have to make you understand what exactly the crux of the topic is. So let us go for the fifth transaction. Let me do it very fastly now. So goods costing before 4,000, this is returned to Sam. That means Sam is the receiver. So we are going to write Sam's account debit. Okay. How much amount he is receiving? He is receiving only 4,500 plus GST value, right? Okay. How much value we are going to decode now? To purchases account, or we are going to write to purchase returns account. You can write purchase returns account or purchases account also. Out of 5,000 we are going to get only 90% returning. So to 4,500 rupees to input CGST, again what on 4,500 we are going to calculate 9%, which would be 405 rupees. To input SGST, 4,500 into 9%, again 405 rupees. So multiplied by 2 plus 4,500, which would be 5,310 rupees, the total amount. Being goods, let me write it here, being goods returned Sam. Okay, let us go for sixth transaction. Fifth happened, sorry, fifth completed, right? I don't know, like my mother tongue is Telugu, so I am getting Telugu here. Okay. Purchased furniture for 44,800 including IGST. This is also an important transaction, but very simple. Okay, what happens here? See, the total amount for furniture he has paid rupees 44,800, and he also mentioned including IGST rupees 12% at the 12%. That means what? This 44,800 is already included with GST portion of 12%. That means, can we say this 44,800 rupees is total of 112%? Can we? Is it? Fine. Simply let me explain you. On 100 rupees, let us say, on which we are also paying 9%. On 100 rupees, what would be the 9% value? 9. So the total amount, this is the before amount, and this is the after amount. When we look into this one, what I can say is, while I am purchasing, I got to know that the value of the goods is 100 rupees, on which I have to pay 9% GST. Then what it has become? It has become 109. That means if I say the value of the goods while purchasing is 100%, and when we add 9% as GST, then it would be returning as 109%, right? Can I say that one? So this 44,000 is including GST of what, 12%. That means it also include 100% value plus 12% IGST value, integrated goods and services tax. So what do we have to say? What we have to calculate is the original amount what it is included in 44,800. That means simply I'll say the calculator trick or whatever you call. That is not a trick, actually it is a basic. You can do it here. Simply you can do cross multiplication or whatever you like. Okay, let me tell you. Simply, what is the cross multiplication? Simply 44,800 is for 112%, then what would be for 100%, right? Then what this would be, you will be considering this as x and this is 100 as 100%. Cross multiplication, what happens? 44,800 into 100 divided by 112. So instead of what we can say, this 44,800 value is 112%, but we are required to calculate 100% value. If we calculate 100% value, then we automatically get what is the value of 12%, because we will be calculating the extra amount from after deducting the amount of 100% value. Simple, right? So instead of doing this, writing this again and doing this, you can directly write this one. So we can in calculated what we can do, 44,800 divided by 112%. This percent becomes into 100. By 100 becomes into 100. That is what exactly happens. Then let us calculate using the help of the calculator. 44,800 divided by 112%. I think it will be returning to 40,000 rupees. So 44,800 divided by 112 into 100. This will be returning 40,000. Simply, you can like if we do it in normal way of like in the competitive math, what would be the thing? If we calculate 12% on 40,000, this will be 4,800, and when we add this is 44,800. Actually I did not use calculator for this. Okay, this 4,800 is what? IGST amount. This is the total amount. Then this might be the actual amount, right? This is the actual amount. So uh, I'm sorry for the cough. Okay. So he has purchased furniture. When asset is purchased, as per real account rule, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. What is coming into the business? Furniture is coming in. So I'm going to write furniture account 44,800 divided by 112%. Okay. Debit. How much? 40,000 only. We are required to show GST separately, right? Input IGST account, remaining 4,800, and the amount what you are going to pay to bank account. Simply purchased furniture, and he has not mentioned any name here. So what we are going to write? To bank account directly. 44,800. Narration being furniture purchased and IGST paid. I'm not going to write narration now. I'm going to see the last transaction. This is also completed. Let us now see the last transaction. Purchased machinery from Messrs Symphony Industries for 1,40,000 plus GST and SGST at 9% each. Paid 1 lakh immediately and balance to be paid after 2 months. I think this and second and seventh transaction, I think both are same. But there the Sam has the Mr. Rohit has purchased goods from Mr. Sam, and I already told somewhere goods are also considered as assets. So machinery is also an asset now. Simply what happens? the entry will be same, right? He has purchased a machinery worth rupees 1,40,000 plus IGST, surplus CGST and SGST. So what happens as he is purchasing machinery? Machinery is an asset. So debit what comes in, machinery is coming in. So machinery account debit, account debit 1,40,000, input CGST 1,40,000 into 9% is the GST, account debit, again input SGST 1,40,000 into 9% account debit to bank account. Why bank account? Because he is paying part of the amount 1 lakh rupees, and the remaining amount he is still liable to Mr. Symphony. So Mrs. Symphony Industries account, right? What amount is the amount of GST we are required to calculate? Simply 1,40,000 scale of 9%, which would be 12,600. Same 12,600 into 2 plus 1,40,000. The total amount is 1,65,200, out of which he is already paying this 1 lakh amount. So he is required to pay 65,200 more to Symphony account. So what is the narration? Being machinery purchased from Mr. Symphony Industries and cash paid partly, partly cash paid, partly amount paid. What it becomes. I think this is an important illustration. I think you have to make it as a star mark while you are practicing it. I hope you understood the illustration. So let us meet with some more interesting illustration, or another topic might be. But let us see according to the illustrations. Okay, let us see that. Until then, please watch my videos. If you like my videos, please, of course, give it a like and subscribe my channel as well. You can share with the people who are interested in learning accounts. You can recommend my channel to them. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please subscribe my channel. Please like and share as well.